Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and I want to welcome Micheal Ladano to the show. Today we are looking at the British band The Darkness. The band consists of Justin and Dan Hawkins, Frankie Poulon, and Rufus Taylor. The Darkness came into prominence with the release of their debut album, Permission to Land, in 2003. Backed by the singles I Believe in a Thing Called Love, Growing on Me, Get Your Hands Off My Woman, and Love Is Only a Feeling, the album was certified quadruple platinum in the UK, with sales over 1.3 million. In 2004, the band won 3 Brit Awards. Their last album, Motorheart, came out in 2021. Micheal and I are going to discuss our favorite tracks and have a general Darkness discussion. So let's get started. Mike Ladano, how are you? There you look. Wait a minute. Put that back up real quick.
Sure.
That's a CD. I thought maybe you had the. Oh, look, it's signed.
Yeah, all 4 signatures.
Holy freaking shit. Look at you.
This is actually a second copy. This was sent to me by a reader, and I'm very grateful.
Look at you. Do you have it on vinyl too?
Do not. Actually, I only have 2 Darkness vinyl, which are singles that I can show you a little bit later.
The Permission to Land on vinyls, unless you bought it back when it came out.
Right. Otherwise, you're paying what I call the late tax.
Anyway, welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and I want to welcome Mike Ladano tonight. This is Mike's first time on the channel, for God's sakes.
And I'm caffeinated. This is espresso tonight.
This is good. So hopefully we'll have Mike back on. We'll give him a trial run, see how he goes.
Let's do it.
But, we've already got a comment. Holy crap. Oh, Ernesto. Ernesto, what is happening? Thanks for coming on.
I'll tell you what's happening. Some rock and roll, my friend.
Rock and roll, Ernesto. Yes, there he is. Ernesto's always here.
Hi,
we never know who's going to show up, but we'll see. Star will probably show up. I'll put money on that. Anyway, we are looking at The Darkness tonight.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is just do a general discussion. I guess we'll just go through the records and pick the tracks that we like. It's just very loose. We love this band. And I didn't know Mike loved The Darkness until I learned that he liked The Darkness. So
they mean a lot to me, Grant. They came to me at a time when I was working at a record store, and it was towards the end of my record store days, and I was a very unhappy individual. And this album made a huge difference in my life.
Well, I would say that the Permission to Land, when I heard this record, I can't remember exactly where I was. But, I've talked about this on my channel before. There have been moments in your life where you hear something and the oceans part, the skies open up. When I heard I Believe in a Thing Called Love, I thought, holy mackerel. What is going on? Because think about everything that was going on during that era.
Yeah.
2003. Oh, there's the single. Think about this, though, Mike, because, oh, my God, we're getting all kinds of shit.
Hey, Lana?
There's David Huff. David, I do know the song I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Remember the music video. Excellent, David. Good for you. I don't know Lana, but
Lana's one of my loyal readers.
Oh, my God. It's nice to have a loyal reader show up.
Nice to see you, Lana.
But it was one of those moments, because think about it. When I Believe in a Thing Called, what else sounded like that? It was like a cross between Queen and, I'm having a brain crisis. It was more
a little bit, maybe.
Little bit.
On the second album, more, but
right. But it was like nothing that was coming out in 2003.
I think if I remember correctly, when I was working at the store, there was one band that they were being compared to frequently, but in my opinion, they don't compare, which is Jet.
Well, Jet was in that same time period.
Yeah.
I guess Jet, if you think about Jet, they were doing something a little bit different than everybody else was.
These guys were outrageous because you had Justin with the open top Steven Tyler, the spandex, and they had a wild image. Like Frankie Poulon was kind of unique looking with the big mustache, and they were unique. And I think a lot of people took them as a novelty, which there's humor in the music, but I think some people took him as a novelty.
I thought when I heard it, I thought it was very refreshing compared to all the other bullshit that was going on. And pardon my French.
I'll tell you something. This band was recommended to me by a guy that I called the Dandy Douche, and he was a guy that worked with me at the record store, and he was a total, pardon my words, total douchebag. And he goes to me, "Hey, Mike, there's this band you ought to check out called The Darkness." And I think he kind of meant it in like an insulting way, like like. Watch, I bet you Michael like a crappy band like The Darkness. I kind of got that feeling. But then he played the album. And it wasn't a thing called Love that hooked me so much as Get Your Hands Off My Woman.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the songs that, well, I would have to admit the first album though, you have to admit, there's not one weak track on it. If I was given a rating out of 5 or out of 10, it would definitely get a 5 or it would get a 10 out of 10. Yep. I mean, it is a perfect record. I would have to say, Mike, that it's probably on one of my, if I had hey, don't drool. We have no drooling on here. But no, seriously, I would probably put this on like a desert island.
Has to be.
It's like a perfect record. Now, there might be other people that disagree with that, but I think it's perfect from start to finish.
I believe in a thing called Love was played at my wedding. I'm telling you, these songs mean things
look,
to me.
There's Tim.
Tim and Harrison Kopp. Harrison, the Mad Metal Man, my
Freaking
co-host.
Tim, what is happening, Tim?
Glasgow! He's talking about a track from Easter is Canceled, I believe. Or is that Motorheart? No, it's on Motorheart. Welcome to Glasgow.
There you go.
Tim and I were actually talking this morning in prep for this show, and there's one particular Japanese bonus track that Tim and I both hold in very high esteem, but it's from Motorheart, so we won't get there yet.
Well, you probably have heard it, and I probably haven't heard it because I don't have the.
You know what?
They put out so many. Well, there's so many different versions, and they put out so many singles and EPs, and
yes.
The Japanese pressings have. All right, Tim says it's the opening track for Motorheart. All right.
Yeah. Now, I don't know. I'm probably going to piss you off here, but I just want to talk about the very last track on the very last album to start.
Okay, go ahead.
Tim and I were actually speaking of it this morning. It's called The Age of Darkness. It's the Japanese bonus track on Motorheart, and I'm telling you, Grant, you got to get your hands on this track.
For God's sakes. You're going to cause me to spend more money.
Tim's going to
Because every time we do one of these damn shows, well, not with you, but I'm just with other people.
Oh, no, I'm
always spending money.
Yep.
Always spending money. So you're going to...
The Japanese bonus track is a song called The Age of Darkness.
Okay.
And Mr. Tim and I both love it. And it's sung by Dan Hawkins. As you know, Dan starts singing more leads as the band goes on in age.
I
like Dan too. And it is hilarious. It is hilarious. It's got this strange cadence to it. And he's talking about all these fantasy themes like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. And I cannot tell you how happy I was.
I'm looking this up right now. You know that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't always sometimes you're disappointed when you spend all that money on a Japanese bonus track. I was with Easter is Canceled. The bonus track was only about a minute long. That thing is a monster and it's so funny. And Tim knows.
Okay. Well, I see there's the Japanese pressing on. All right. But what's the difference between, I don't know because I do not have the deluxe edition.
Okay.
Is I see the deluxe edition like in Australia and Japan. Are they the same?
Well, Grant, you caught me off guard there because I didn't know there was a deluxe
I thought you had your shit together there, Mike.
I thought that I had all the tracks. I didn't think I needed to spend any more money. But
we
might have to get back to that.
It's like $31 for the Japanese import.
Yeah, and then add on another $30 in shipping and duty by the time it gets to your house.
I'm reevaluating this track right now. What's the track you said is worth having?
The Age of Darkness.
Okay, it's not on the deluxe edition on the Australian pressing.
Okay, so at least I have something unique.
All right.
Anyway, I'm sorry
for that. I'm going to watch that. Maybe there'll be one that'll come down and it's, cheaper. Holy crap, there's Rich. Rich, what's happening?
Hey, Rich.
Who else? It's just like a whole. Reminds me, Grant. Did you get the Vandenberg yet? Okay, Tim, real quick. I know this is not anything to do with the darkness, but I haven't gotten it yet. It'll be here in a couple days, but I also ordered the other two Vandenberg CDs because I figured maybe we might do a show on those. So I'm preparing. First heard the Believe I Think Alone.
Wow.
Oh,
Degrassi, the Canadian TV series?
yeah, I don't know that.
It is a Canadian. There is a Canadian TV series called Degrassi High, and I'm guessing that's where she heard it. But who knows?
Yeah, I'm not feeling. Oh.
Well, thanks, Lana. Yeah, Lana lives in Hawaii, although I believe she's.
Oh, well, that sounds horrible.
I don't believe she's there right now, though. I think she's working at Disney.
All right, Tim. Well, get ready because I'll be in contact to put this on our calendar in January. So be ready.
Anyway, I'm sorry for taking us completely off track and going to the last album when we wanted to go.
No, it doesn't matter. This is what it's about. It's just you and I shooting the shit. I don't care what tangent we go on. It's just about talking about this stuff.
I'm going to tell you that every Darkness album, like we were talking earlier offline about how difficult it is to pick favorites.
Right.
Every Darkness album has certain songs on it that I consider to be quintessential Darkness. And I can't quite describe exactly what that means. It has something to do with a riff. It has something to do with a certain kind of hook and a certain kind of drum fill, especially in the Eddie Graham days. Eddie Graham used to have this drum fill that he used all the time.
Yeah, I loved Eddie.
Boom, 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 boom. And he used it in many songs. He even used it in the Stone Gods. But Black Shuck, Get Your Hands Off My Woman, Growing on Me, I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and Love is a Feeling. That's side one. That's like the most killer side one. And I would say of those 5 songs, the weakest one might be the ballad. But that's just
no, it's not though. I mean, you could say that, but maybe. I think side 1 on that record's perfect. Yeah. What did I wrote? I wrote down Black Shuck, Get Your Hands Off My Woman, Growing on Me.
Yeah.
I Believe in a Thing Called Love, Love on the Rocks. Those are ones that I wrote down, but like I said before, it's a perfect record.
I agree.
And I can't really eliminate anything on that record.
If I was going to eliminate one, and keep in mind, this is like trying to chop off a finger, choose which one you're going to chop off.
I understand.
Stuck in a Rut.
No, I love Stuck in a Rut.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I love the whole thing. I think it's perfect. Like I told you, when I heard this, I thought the freaking skies parted, the water parted. I hadn't heard it. This was so fresh.
Yeah, it was.
For something to come out in 2003, what can I say?
You're right. It was a dreary time for music. You know, we'd gotten through the 90s. A lot of these bands had changed their sound or completely broken up. And the Darkness kind of came out with a modern twist on a sound that I already loved.
Right.
And it was like, I haven't heard this kind of music in a while. And I haven't seen a band that admires like Queen and Aerosmith and AC/DC and all these influences. A lot of people were criticizing them for being so Queen-like, but I don't really...
Yeah, but it was refreshing. Who else? Okay, there's obviously a niche for Queen.
Yeah.
Queen hasn't sounded like Queen in years. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The Queen that they love, you know which version of Queen they love.
Yeah.
And that Queen hadn't been around forever. So I totally get it. And I don't know. Tim says the Darkness had so many great B-sides and bonus tracks that I'd love to see compiled in one spot. You know what, Tim? I think that's a beautiful idea. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I have several here. I realized
Go ahead, show what you've got.
I've never played it. It's a DVD single, which is why I've never played it. I have to use my multi-region DVD player and convert to MP3 and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, this has a B-side on it called Out of My Hands that I've never heard. This DVD single has a live version of Get Your Hands Off My Woman that I played the other day. And it's hilarious because at the end, Justin Hawkins just repeats over and over and over again a strange sound. And it's hilarious to me. There's this one, the CD single. This one has Planning Permission. We talked about that song earlier today.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Great song. And it's got a weird one called Curse of the Tolland Man, which kind of, the fantasy side of the Darkness again. And then there's the non-album stuff. Like, this was a hit in the UK. Great music videos. Yes. Love You Five Times.
I'm going to say, since we are talking about it, This has to be my favorite Darkness song.
The Christmas one.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my God, the hooks.
Oh, I'm not saying that.
I don't care if it's about Christmas or not. Holy mackerel.
I admire
It's just
you.
perfect. And we've got Bob Ezrin production. The other thing I want to say, I mean, we could go on a tangent all night, but why didn't, you may know this answer. They used Bob on this, but why did they not ever use Bob again?
Well, I remember there was a lot of talk about producers around the time of the second album. And, who are they going to pick? And I believe, if I remember correctly, for a brief while, they picked Mutt Lange. And I think they were really excited about the possibility of working with Mutt Lange, but found out that they were turning it a little too leopardy. And then they switched over to Roy Thomas Baker, RTB.
That's fine with me.
RTB's first project, if I'm getting my history right, yep, this was it here. A little download-only single called Get Your Hands Off My Woman Again.
See, I've never heard that.
There's Justin on the back with a pair of drumsticks for unknown reasons, but it's a new version of Get Your Hands Off My Woman produced by RTB. And it's got a little piano break in the middle. But otherwise, it's just like a more polished recording. And that's basically it. And I think this was sort of a tryout. And they ended up going with Roy Thomas for the second album, which, it's a great album.
I would have liked to heard Bob on it because I think his work on, Christmas Time, I think it's brilliant. I think that, I don't know, that song I could listen to forever and never get tired of it. That might be a contrarian view, but I don't know. I think I love it.
It is a contrarian view, but not necessarily for the reason of the quality of the music. I mean, that's undisputed. It's one of the greatest Darkness pieces of music ever. It's just a matter of how you feel about the seasonal thing. And as I mentioned earlier, I worked 12 years in a record store. So as far as seasonal music goes, you can take it and stuff it.
Well, it might be seasonal, but man, the hooks, the production.
Yeah.
Hell, the video for it is just incredible.
Brilliant. And Growing on Me is another one of my other favorite Darkness videos with the spaceship and all that stuff. They mastered the music video.
But this is something I recently picked up, which is funny. This is the censored version of One Way Ticket to Hell.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what's that sound
And this
like?
is a promo. I don't know if the promos were all censored or not, but this is a promo. It's got a punch in the back.
I don't know the answer to that question because the record store that I worked in did not receive promos because we also bought and sold used product. And record companies don't send promos to people who buy and sell used product because they assume the promo is going on the shelf for sale. So I've never actually seen a promo of it. I will tell you this. I mentioned the record store was kind of a miserable experience. The day that this thing came out, I was working the afternoon shift. So it had already been played in the store in the morning. I came in and one of the upper managers, as if just to piss me off, goes, "Mike, the new Darkness sucks." And I was like, okay, I'm just going to let that go. And she goes, "There's a song on there where all he does is sing, 'I love what you've done with your hair.'" And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I play the album. And isn't that one of my favorite songs? Well, it's a song called Knockers. Yeah. And I love what you've done with your hair. What a hook. And this album's way more polished and it's a little left field at times. Way more ambitious, but damn it, I wouldn't lose a song from this one. Just like Permission to Land, I would not lose a song.
Well, when it came out, back in the day, of course, I bought everything when it came out.
Yeah,
I heard it and I went, uh-oh. I thought maybe it was going to be like a Cheap Trick All Shook Up moment where I thought, uh-oh, there's cracks.
Okay.
Or Queen the Game where the cracks start forming. But as I listen to it now, I like it just as much. God, this is contrarian view as the debut. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
I might like it a hair better, man.
Really?
I might. And
it's one of those records, though. It maybe not. It doesn't hit you right on the onset, but the more you listen to it, it opens itself up.
There's stuff on here that I can't live without, man. Hazel Eyes. And I guess, some of the stuff might depend on how you feel about having like bagpipes in your heavy metal. But
well, it worked for AC/DC.
Worked for AC/DC. Girlfriend, English Country Guard, Blind Man,
Yeah, it's
Knockers.
great.
Knockers is a great tune.
One Way Ticket.
Dinner Lady Arms has an amazing kind of soaring Justin Hawkins chorus. And the ballad seemed like such a good idea at the time. It's positioned in the exact same spot on the album as Love Is Only a Feeling, and it's obviously designed to fill that niche. But damn, they did it again. They hit a second ballad that was just as good as their first one. And Tim's right. I seem to be missing
Bareback is the best AC/DC instrumental. Well, I have to admit, Tim's all over it. I think Dan Hawkins wears it. Yeah, I've seen the photo of him wearing that.
I had the same Thin Lizzy shirt.
Tim loves it. I didn't know kidding. Tim loved him.
Oh, I got Shit Ghost.
For B-sides, I don't have Get Out of My... Oh.
Here it is.
Is it only on vinyl? Did it ever come out digitally? I've never heard it.
I have... I'm kind of negligent in transferring some of my non-CD music to MP3, so I got to get on this and play Shit Ghost.
I've never ever... What... That came out on what? What era was that from?
This is One Way Ticket. It came out in 2006, and this looks like a UK import.
Was it ever on the Japanese CD? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Holy crap.
I like Harrison's comment.
They used Bob on a song for Hotcakes? No, I didn't know that.
Huh. That's possible. I got Hotcakes.
Maybe. Michael, check it out.
Yeah.
Mike, get on that and check that out. I really don't know. I love, I like all these records, though. Harrison said One Way Ticket to Hell is some of my favorite cover art of all time. Oh,
Harrison likes trains. He loves trains.
Is that a Target CD? What are you talking about? Like a Target CD from back in the day? Ernesto, you know better.
No.
There's an Australian CD single with Shit Ghost on it.
There you go.
I figured Tim would know that. Holy crap.
I'm trying to find a credit on here with production credits, and I don't see it immediately, so I'm just going to abandon ship on that one.
That's all right. I'm looking up Shit Ghost. Do you have that, Tim? Yeah, obviously you might.
He's probably got an 8-track.
Yeah, do you have that on 8-track? Because I just wondered. All right, Tim said, look at Tim. He's all over it. I think Ezra produced Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now.
Should have got Tim on tonight with us.
Well, Tim, come on if you want to come on.
He says he does not have it.
Tim, if you want to come on and rap with us, you can come on. I'll send you the link.
You know what, Grant? As if I haven't alluded to it enough, I love this album, but there's no secret that Justin was really suffering from a serious drug addiction at the time.
Yeah, but still his work on this record is
phenomenal. To me, this sounds like a drug album. Right. This sounds like a drug album to me because of the overindulgences. It reminds me of Oasis, their third album, Be Here Now. It reminds me of that kind of overblown, like we can do whatever we want. We're as big as God, That's just an impression that I personally get. I was disappointed when Justin left the band, but it led to two great albums, which is Hot Leg and Stone Gods. As you are well aware, we talked about Hot Leg offline earlier. And I have, as far as Hot Leg goes.
Oh, that was... Hold on. I'm trying to get Tim on here.
Sure.
Shit. Hold on, Tim. I'm sending it through Messenger. Hold on,
Tim.
Once I can get the right browser up. All right, Mike, keep going.
Okay.
While I'm doing this.
So we were talking offline earlier about how Hot Leg, Justin's, not his first solo project, because that would have been British Whale, which I also have, with his cover of This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us by Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
He came out with Hot Leg, and we talked earlier about how this could have been the third Darkness album.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah. It's basically if they did make another album after One Way Ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And you may notice mine says 2 discs.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's a bit of a custom.
Wait, what?
It's a bit of a custom job here. They had a couple of tracks that were download-only bonus tracks. Heroes and Take. Not a Bowie cover. At least I don't think it's a Bowie cover. Anyway, those 2 tracks were download only, so I took the initiative to put them on a CD and bundle them together because, you know, what else can you do with download only bonus tracks? But that wasn't enough for me, so I bought the single for Cocktails, and that has its own bonus track, All I Gotta Do. Oh, look at that promo copy.
Here, I better put the hot leg graphic up. I forgot to put.
Did your razor break?
I'm just letting her go and see what happens. I've actually got the makings of a mullet in the back here.
Believe me, we did a show not the other day, and he didn't. Believe me, Mike, we did a show the other day, and he did not look like this.
I saw him 2 weeks ago, and he looked like a normal dude walking down the street.
Yeah, what happened?
See, I went in front of the mirror and went, and it just.
So there you go. I put the graphic up for Hot Leg. So highly recommend that you just can't get it.
No,
like
I paid $30 for this.
I don't know how much I got it. Someone sent it to me from the UK because there are none available here in the States.
Yeah.
But it's great. If you like the darkness, it's well worth seeking out.
Now you might hate me for this, Grant. I hope
I won't. I don't hate anybody.
I actually prefer.
Look at all these comments. I am backlog. I've never heard it, but I did order it. I found it. Someone in the UK had it for like $13.
So if you recall, Frankie Poulain left the band after the first album, and he was replaced by a gentleman named Richie Edwards, and he joined on bass. But he is by nature a guitar player, and after the Darkness effectively split, they renamed themselves the Stone Gods. Richie Edwards moved over to lead vocals and rhythm guitar, and they hired a new bassist called Toby McFarlane. This album kicks serious ass. This is serious metal. Richie Edwards as a singer sounds more like a Rob Halford than anything else. He's a screamer. Like, he is not like Justin at all, but he is a lead vocalist on his own right. This was, I believe, mixed by my pal Mike Fraser, the famous producer. We've talked about this album with Mike Fraser, and what can I say? This is a killer album, and there's 2 songs in particular I love. Burn the Witch, which is just priest-like heavy metal, and then there's a great kind of just anthemic darkness song called Start of Something, and there's a music video for it, and in that music
Ernesto.
video
go ahead.
There was one more lineup change. Eddie Graham was ejected from the band, and they replaced him with Robin Goodridge from Bush. And they made a second album that has never been released because
I wonder if that'll ever come out.
I hope so, but the reason it was never released was because of that, the reunion with a returning Frankie Poulain.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Not up to the level of the first 2, is my opinion.
Good.
I
think it's good. It's my least favorite. And I think the main reason is that it's one where I look at it and go, I don't remember how that song goes. I don't remember how that song goes. That songs don't stick with me. It's still good. To my opinion, this band's never put out a bad record.
Version do you have? Is that the deluxe version?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I've never seen
mine's in a jewel case.
I've never seen that. Mine
has how many tracks 15. Are on yours, Grant?
11.
15.
See, this isn't the deluxe version.
I see.
Yeah.
But I'll take the jewel case any day.
Yeah, mine's actually a Canadian version, believe it or not.
How many tracks?
11. So probably the same. It's on Wind Up Records, distributed by EMI.
This one is on Canary Wharf.
That's their little imprint that they've been
Dwarf.
from then on. So Mike, you mentioned 8 tracks.
No, you don't.
No. I don't have Darkness 8 tracks, but what I do have is this. And this. And
I've never seen those.
This.
Never seen it.
This.
What is that?
What? That's live at Hammersmith. It's got this weird cover on the cassette. This. And Motor Heart.
Still sealed.
Oh yeah, all of them are sealed except for.
That's a great album.
You guys have this, right?
One-way tickets.
No.
What
the heck is that?
That is Streaming of a White Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, is that live album that I missed out on?
Yeah.
I got to pay the late tax to get that.
Yeah, I picked that up for my buddy Matt, who's got me into this band and is a bigger fan than me because he's into Hot Leg and all the side project stuff. I don't usually go for the side projects. I find them distracting. I want to show you something weird. I
bought this. I think I got this off. Where did I get this? It was. I think I bought it from the Darkness website.
Yeah, that's total late tax on that one. What's weird about this cassette, and I'm pointing this one out because it's open. There's no holes in the back of this. It's very strange. Like this is
what do you mean no holes?
No prongs in the tape?
There's no prongs. It's completely. This is where is this from? This is from the UK, I think. No.
These guys.
This is from Indonesia. These both of their first two albums are from Indonesia on cassette. But yeah, it's there's no holes in it.
We just finished talking about Hot Leg.
We just talked about Hot Leg, Chris.
For your benefit,
Mike,
Chris.
show up Hot Leg again for Chris.
For your benefit, one more time. I paid $30 for this. You'll see it says 2 CDs because I burned the download-only bonus tracks to a bonus disc. You can't get these anymore.
We'll get Chris updated.
We got this. This is the single for Cocktails. That's the most outrageous chorus they've ever written is Cocktails. Absolutely no question of that.
Ernesto said Justin used to write songs for the singers on American Idol.
Yeah,
is that true?
He's got a song. He co-wrote a song on Adam Lambert's first album.
I had no idea.
That makes total sense.
Marco, how's it going, Marco?
Marco was on with me last week doing the Creatures of the Night.
We love Marco.
He's a wonderful human being.
He is. He's got a great mustache.
He does.
What were we talking about? Hotcakes. Sorry.
While we're on this album, I want to mention the one keeper. The Radiohead covers a keeper, but you guys haven't heard it.
No, I haven't heard it.
That's on my CD, Street Spirit.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
The keeper. She just a girl, Eddie.
She
just a girl, Eddie. It's the only one that strikes me as a song that could have been on the first two albums.
And it's literally, Eddie as in Ed Graham. Literally, it's about him.
Yeah.
That was his last album with them.
They were recording. They released a single that I do not have physically. The single is called The Horn. She's got the horn.
Right.
And it's a really dirty innuendo kind of song. And then there was another track that has never been released physically called Second Fiddle. And it's sung by Dan Hawkins. It's an acoustic song. And he's talking about how he's always been second fiddle his whole life. And then the chorus comes. We are the Hawkins brothers, and I am Frankie Poulain. And it's literally each member of the band singing about themselves. And at the end, Eddie Graham comes on, and he sings his final lines, and he's like, I've always been my mother's pride. And that's it. Eddie gone. Eddie gone after that.
These extra songs is that, like, the first two albums, Atlantic owns those. So unless they re-record them, we're not going to see them. There are so many songs that, like you said, Curse of the Tallin' Man. That's Planning Permission. I Love You 5 Times. How Dare You Call This Love?
I'm missing a lot of them.
Bareback.
Bareback's the best one.
Bareback. That's on the CD single of Grow on Me, right?
Yeah,
I'm missing it.
God, that is great.
Wanker. That's a good one.
I got Wanker.
That's a great.
And shake like a lettuce.
Shake like a lettuce leaf. I got that one too. But there's
shake.
There's Wanker. Shake like a lettuce. It's incredible the notes that guy can still hit. Like
I know.
Back then and now.
Yeah, you've been seeing him on the Taylor Hawkins tribute. He still does it, and it looks like it's effortless.
Yeah. Anyway, the Horn is available on a single. I do not have it, and I need it. It's like $100.
Yeah.
And Second Fiddle's never been released anywhere. I don't know the circumstances behind Eddie Graham's firing. I miss his trademark. Boom, boom, boom.
No,
boom.
I thought that he didn't want to do it anymore. I think they toured so much that he just was burned out. That's what I think Justin said.
I loved his replacement though, Emily Dolan Davis.
Yeah. Yep.
She is fantastic. And incidentally, everybody who's watching, not only is Emily Dolan Davis an amazing drummer, where is she? She's in here somewhere. There she is. Not only is she an amazing drummer, but she has an absolutely fantastic Instagram, very inspirational. Check out Emily Dolan Davis or Davies, I should say, on Instagram. And she drummed on Last of Our Kind, which has possibly my favorite song of all time.
And what's that? You might as well talk about it.
The title track, my friend.
Oh my goodness.
What a track. What a track. There's the Japanese in case you wanted to see that.
See, I wrote down Barbarian, which was very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And my copy, holy crap. I got
two copies of that one.
Okay, I'm trying to go through my stacks. Oh my!
This is the Japanese and the Christmas edition.
I've got the Christmas edition and the regular.
I got the Christmas edition. I wrote down as far as I do love the Christmas. I Am Santa.
Thanks for the milk and cookies.
That's so funny. I was thinking that today.
And I love is it $1 Million Strong? That's a good song. Like that.
I like Mudslide.
Well, no. As far as like the bonus tracks go,
okay.
Mudslide. Do you know what this is?
It's a fucking mudslide, and I don't even know what a fucking mudslide is, and I don't want to know. Justin Hawkins has a lot of suggestive lyrics, especially on the horn.
This ain't no double entendre. This is real life.
He started experimenting with a lower voice at that time.
When I first heard, I think the first thing I heard of it was the video for Open Fire.
Right.
And
the only video with Emily.
No. I heard the song. I didn't see the video. The video would have cleared it up. I didn't know that was him singing.
You thought it was?
Yeah, I did not know that was him singing either. It does not sound like him at all.
I love Roaring Waters.
I was going to point out Wheels of the Machine as a nice ballad.
Yeah.
Hammer and Tongs as a good rocker.
Yeah.
Sarah Oh Sarah has sort of like that one-way ticket kind of melodic. There's a lot of sort of Celtic stuff.
And Frankie Poulain on Conquerors. What a great voice.
Yeah,
well, I could have sold to that for second fiddle.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is just a great album. Emily only appeared in the video for Open Fire, and then they got the young wunderkind Rufus Tiger Taylor. Who had just finished a big tour with Queen plus Adam Lambert, and he's fit like a glove ever since.
Yeah.
And he appeared in the video for Last of Our Kind, which it's a hilarious video. If you guys have seen it.
Yeah, they had fans show up and take part, and
lip
it was
sync.
also kind of a funny animated video for Barbarian too, and Emily's kind of in that.
What do you think about what Ernesto says? Can you imagine if The Darkness would have came out 20 years ago, probably just as big?
They came out 20 years ago.
So, I mean, he must be thinking like an 87.
Right. I think that, because guys like us, when we say 20 years ago, that's what we mean. We mean the 80s.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think
such a breath of fresh air.
That's what I was saying.
I know I'm late.
No, you're good.
Here, but I used to work at a building supply store, and they would have not music, but they would just have a satellite feed. And it would be just random pop music or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, you never knew what anything was. And most of it wasn't to my liking. But then around 2003, 2004, they started playing, I believe, a thing called Love. And I'm like, okay, what's this? It's got guitar solos.
That's what I did. It was like
they had guitar solos.
Holy shit, there are no guitar solos then.
But
you're right. I just remembered that. That's a bizarre thing.
That was not the... I think the first song I heard from them, again, my good buddy Matt that designed my book, got me into this band. The first thing that he played for me by them was Get Your Hands Off My Woman. And musically, when it came on, I was like, oh, yeah, this is good. I got to admit, it took me a while to get used to Justin's voice. That was
not me, man. I loved it. As soon as I heard Justin, I went, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Like, these guys are AC/DC meets Queen.
Yeah.
I did not like any new bands. They were all like post-grunge and just, this was good rock. This was good, fun rock and roll.
I agree.
You know, I wish I think they lost a lot of momentum. It was 7 years between albums, right? But they've been on such a roll since they came back, especially starting with Last of Our Kind.
Mm-hmm.
I just,
you know what I thought?
Well,
cool,
I think
Ken?
It's just getting better.
Yeah.
As they keep going. I wonder if that has anything to do with Rufus being in the band. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, it's got to help having young blood. It's got to help.
And having a stable lineup helps too. and they've been a stable lineup. You know,
I don't know the deal with Frankie. I know he has a book out, but obviously he was a fan favorite. And he's got a lot of personality. He might not be. He's like a Gene Simmons on bass, but he's got a lot of personality. Like the band wouldn't be the same without Frankie.
But see what now the point that Marco makes here is well taken, because in the popular eye, they did disappear. They only had those first 2 albums on Atlantic. After that, they were independent.
And
they're all worth seeking out. They've all got their moments. And if you're going to seek them out anyway, you might as well get the ones that have 3 or 4 extra songs on them.
100%.
Yeah, now I keep thinking I'm going to have to go back and spend more money, and I want to thank you guys for that.
Well, I got to get the streaming live album, unless you want to donate it to my library. I got to get that, and that's going to cost me.
Well, you need the packaging though.
See, I did the beautiful. I did.
Oh no, I meant send me the actual thing, Grant.
Oh yeah, well
I did rip it to my computer before I sent it to Matt, but I do need to get it.
It's 2 CDs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you know what?
I think it's the whole show.
Hammersmith was only one.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
I'm really surprised they haven't done a live DVD Blu-ray.
Or a DVD that includes all of their amazing music videos.
Yeah.
Well, again, you'd have to get
the permissions.
The first 2 albums would probably be out of reach. And their videos are so ridiculously bad, they're great.
Look, growing on me.
Yeah.
Well, what about the video
they've done? Like
all the pretty girls where they're just kind of like hanging out at like a rental cottage,
lawnmowers and water skiing,
or You'll Never See Me Cry,
yes,
where it's just them crying.
What about the video for In Another Life? How great is that?
One. I've never seen it.
Oh my God, it's great. Justin's playing the devil, and then there's this angel that's up above. Oh, you got to see it. But that song is great. I know we're skipping a record, but oh my God, that is top notch, single, whatever you want to call it.
See, I need Hotcakes and Last of Our Kind on cassette. And then
I don't think it ever came out on cassette.
Well, I know there's a big thing. So there's literally a gap between these two as far as ones that came out on cassette.
Right. So Tim, I just want to tell you something. There is support out there. Obsessive compulsive disorder can be helped with support groups, and I suggest you get into one now.
While we have the guy that buys every bonus
I just want to give a shout out to Deadwax66 while he's on here. Deadwax, you are my man. I'm just going to tell you that. Thank you.
You fucking rock, Dead. Oh shit.
And, Marco, what are you editing? You editing? I know this is going off on the thing, but Marco, what are you editing? Are you doing Whitesnake? Because I'd really like to see that get out.
I hope he's editing my resume. That's what I'm asking him to do.
All right, so let's see.
Did you want to do Pinewood?
Yeah, let me get my graphic up.
Look at that stupid cover art. I mean, it's so bad.
That
is
so bad.
Although I like the idea of Rufus hanging from Justin's nose ring. I think that's kind of hilarious there.
You think
you think it's some sort of bizarre twist on the News of the World album cover?
No,
I think Justin got new teeth.
Yes, he did.
And he wanted to show them off. That's what it was about.
I think it's a joke. Like this Pinewood, of course, it's Pinewood Studios in London, and it's the whole cliche of, not having.
I prefer the back cover.
But, Through the Fire. Yeah, that was a small panel, but a fun one.
But what do I have? Is this... Okay, how many tracks... Shit, I don't have my glasses on.
There's 9 tracks on the standard version of Pinewood, and I think there's 4 more on the deluxe one.
And
I think this is just the standard version.
Including one of my favorite songs by them, Rack of Glam.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's on here. Stampede of Love, Happiness. That's a great song. Happiness.
I wrote down Solid Gold and Why Don't the Beautiful Cry? Because Why Don't the Beautiful Cry is very Queen. Grant. Very Queen.
Very sad. Listen to the lyrics.
Very sad.
There's an acoustic version on this one, Grant.
That's
not, look,
Mike, you make me sick. You make me sick.
Talking about the song is making the hair on my arms stand up.
Look at you.
Talking about it.
My goodness.
I'm wondering if anybody here knows if Justin Hawkins had like testicular cancer or something like that, because there's a song on here called Uniball.
Maybe that's a tribute to what's his name?
Why are people taking me Uniball?
Who was the one guy that Tom Green? Maybe it's a tribute to Tom Green.
Tom Green. It could be.
So Uniball, it's a ridiculous song lyrically, but I love the da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Like it's got some.
It's
cool
actually
stuff.
pretty cool.
I also love the end of Stampede of Love.
Yeah.
Where it goes really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Southern Trains is kind of fun.
Yep.
Fuck you, Southern Trains. Because they don't run on time, I guess. You'd have to be from the UK, maybe.
Grown men, the lyrics are hilarious. Grown men weeping and pure despair and I just want to get somewhere.
Ernesto,
we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Ernesto, he is better than Dave Grohl because he's a better vocalist for one.
I saw some video footage of when the Darkness were opening for Lady Gaga on the Hotcakes tour, and Justin was just in command of the song. It was She Just a Girl, Eddie.
Oh,
and
he
like,
did.
He's like, this is a song about Eddie and his girls.
There you go. Jon Snow, yes, Justin had testicular cancer at 31.
There you go. That's what Uniball's about.
There you go.
John T. Snow.
Hey, John.
John
and
Snow.
I have an episode as soon as we get stuff in the mail.
Ooh.
All these people that are showing up here that I don't know.
Yeah, those are my buddies.
All right, please go to my channel and subscribe for God's sakes.
And to all of Grant's regular viewers that have never seen me before, please go to my website, micheladano.com, and please sign up.
There you go. See, it's all about the love here in the Rock Warehouse.
You know what? Jon Snow is
a guy. And go to Tim's channel too. But you've seen Tim before. Tim's all shy. So, oh, come on.
Yeah. You want to get Jon Snow on your show sometime. This guy's a kiss maniac.
I don't know Jon Snow.
He is a fantastic guy. He's been on Tim's show.
Oh, you subscribe? Bless you, Jon Snow.
You want to talk Aldo Nova? John's your guy.
I want to talk Aldo Nova.
Yeah,
well, John's the guy.
John and I did a show about his last.
Holy shit! Really,
yeah.
John? You like a lot of people don't like Aldo. I love freaking.
A lot of people don't know who he is, right? It's like Billy.
I love it.
It's like, yeah, I want to talk about this guy.
Shit, I'll do an Aldo show.
Yeah. Send Jon Snow a message on Facebook.
Holy crap! I never met an Aldo Nova fan.
You have.
Well, you met here. Hi, hello.
Oh, you are.
I only own a couple albums. I'm not hardcore.
We need to do a Aldo show because no one is talking Aldo.
No, and he's actually putting out new music now. So yeah.
You know what?
We need
Grant,
to hit
I've
that.
got something you might be interested in on my YouTube channel. Much Music in Canada. I'm sure you've heard us talking about Much Music in Canada. I have an acoustic performance of Modern World from the Blood on the Bricks album.
I had that on VHS when he sat up on the rooftop with What's Her Face and did that interview.
That's not this. This is in the basement with Michael Williams.
I had that too.
Anyway, so I've got an acoustic version of Modern World. Check it out.
I had that too. He did it both times.
So John, you met
That's so cool.
You met Aldo in '91. Holy mackerel!
John's close.
Was he? Did he even have an album out in '91?
Blood on the Bricks.
Yes, Blood on the Bricks came out in '91 on Jamco.
Yeah, try to find that in the used bins.
Try to find it without featuring John Bon Jovi written along the cover. Try to find the original one, which was on the episode Mike and I did on Rare CDs Part 2.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
it's a little bit more.
Anyway, we've went on a tangent, but it's fun to go on a tangent.
It is.
So that was Pinewood.
Hang on, I want to get a good.
And we need to go to.
There we go. There's a good image for the thumbnail.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right.
You know
so.
You ever seen the
Easter is canceled
of Smile? Brian May and Roger Taylor's old band. Yeah. Just with they all had the big smile mouths. Anyway,
Easter's canceled.
But
this is where Grant and I are not going to get along because I hate this album.
You don't like any songs on this,
no.
Mike?
I don't know. I hate it. I hate it. I'm sorry.
You don't like In Another Life?
I can't tell you how it goes. I played this album today, and I can't tell you how it goes.
Oh my God! It's like one of the best Darkness albums after the first two.
We Are the Guitar Man.
Sorry, Jon Snow and I have argued.
Oh my God! This is. You know, I don't judge anybody on my channel. Everybody is entitled to opinion, but Mike, you need to re-listen to this.
I did today.
Okay. You don't think
it's so weird? It's like so many. It just sounds.
In Another Life isn't brilliant.
I can't remember how it goes.
Oh my God!
I can't
Come on, Tim. Come on, Tim. Help us out.
It's a great ballad.
It's a great ballad.
Bonus tracks on this one are.
I get a kick out of Heavy Metal Lover, and I always wondered. It doesn't sound anything like the band Helix, but they were on tour with Helix, and of course Helix had a song called Heavy Metal Love, And I always wondered if they did that song Heavy Metal Lover as a sort of like nod to those guys. I don't know. But
Tim,
that part in the middle where it's like, you look so happy when you're carving meat.
they toured with Helix?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Overseas. I didn't know that either.
Oh, overseas. Okay.
Overseas, yeah. Huh. This would have been probably, Pinewood Smile era, maybe.
Huh. Didn't know.
Slam Glory was played on Much Music.
Slam Glory is his Uncle Ray Doria's band from the 90s. And they had a great song called Say It Like You Mean It, which I play on my channel every once in a while when I've got Marco on.
So, and I also love, we're talking about Easter's Canceled. Rock and Roll Deserves to Die, which is very over the top. The acoustics on it's great. Yeah.
The video's quite funny.
But it's funny. These guys just don't take themselves seriously. You have to laugh at it. But Mike, you don't like that.
I'm sorry, I gave it another try today, and I just...
All right, I'm not going to judge you.
I learned a little bit about history because of the Darkness and those bonus tracks. I didn't know what Sutton Hoo was.
I still don't. What is it?
What is it?
Well, it's it's like a settlement somewhere in England where they discovered these ruins of like these people that they don't know anything about because it was like centuries ago. But so the place is called Sutton Hoo, Sutton Sutthoo. But of course, the way they sing is like Sutton Hoo will unlock these mysteries. Oh. It's like a little acoustic jig that ends the bonus tracks on. Yeah, like I've done on my channel. Matt and I have done review episodes for all of the Darkness albums from Pinewood Smile forward. We're big fans.
You should go start working way backwards now.
Yeah, but they're not new. I think we did a general episode on it at one point.
I think Grant and I could easily do a second episode on the Darkness at this point.
Well,
but I'm sorry about Easter's Cancel. I apologize, Jon Snow.
You don't have to apologize. Everybody likes what they like.
It puzzles me because it's not like it's a stylistic departure. It just sounds like they sound.
Now, right. Exactly. Well put, Tim.
I don't think I like it as much as I really did like Pinewood Smile when that came out, and I definitely like Motorheart. I don't like Easter's Canceled nearly as much as the one before or after it, but I do like it.
See, I like it just as much as I like those other records. Oh,
I like this one better. I like this one better.
Now, what I also need to catch up on and spend more money, because Mike's all about that, right? Is
he's going to cause me to spend money.
You're going to cause me to spend money.
I have all their stuff on vinyl, like all their albums from Last of Our Kind on, but I don't have any of the older ones. So.
Sorry,
wow.
Did you say you don't have the vinyl for the first three? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
I got Last of Our Kind and everything that came out after.
I had the vinyl of For Hotcakes. I bought it when it came out, but then I'm not proud of this, but I don't have it anymore because once I saw how much it was going for, I sold it.
I would honestly prefer, instead of buying something that I already own on CD and buying a vinyl copy, although I understand that's a very popular thing.
Well,
I would
kids
rather
like it.
Yes, the kids like it. I would rather spend my money on getting that live stream. I should be pointing in his direction. The live stream live album. That's what I want to spend my money on.
There, that's what
I got
you
a funny
need.
story.
That's what I want.
I
got a funny story for you guys about. I almost bought the vinyl to One Way Ticket when it was current.
Yeah,
but I'm glad I didn't. Now I'll tell you the story. This
Go
is
ahead.
2006, and my buddy Matt and I went to St. John to see Alice Cooper, who was on the Dirty Diamonds tour, and actually Helix were opening for Alice, which is awesome because I'm a lifelong fan of Helix too.
That was a monumental night for me seeing that.
We went to this used record store, and they had One Way Ticket, and I think it was like $30, which wasn't bad. And I hemmed and hawed. I hemmed and hawed on it. I think I bought something else. And I kind of regretted it until later that night. I think it was during $1 Billion Babies. Alice threw one of his crutches out into the audience, and I got into a tug of war with it, with the owner of that record store. And I could tell by the look on his face, this guy was. So I'm like, I'm not getting into a fight. So I couldn't get I couldn't get two hands on it. I could only get one hand on it. I'm like, I'm not getting kicked out of a concert or getting beat up because this asshole wants the crutch. I'm glad I didn't buy that Darkness record from you. So there.
Asshole, yeah. Screw you, dude.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. That is funny.
Is it a record store story? Kind of.
Kind of.
It started in a record store.
Record Store Tales Volume 2. Tim takes over.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, I like Motor Heart. I think it's a good album.
Yeah.
Motor Heart is going to be talked about on Tim's Final Confession, shameless plug, in a few hours.
Wow. Whoa! Look at that.
It's not a review, per se.
Okay.
I'm not certain what this is.
I don't know. Marco's talking about stuff. I'm not sure what he's talking about. He's
talking.
F that guy. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Karma. Right. Okay. Well, he's busy editing. He should be editing the Whitesnake show. But
he's got to do them in order, though, right?
He doesn't have to.
That HSAS was a while ago.
Well, I don't care.
It's fine. Like does the CD to Motorheart, does that not remind you of the colors on the first album?
I was just going to say, Tim, it looks like it's a retro Permission to Land kind of thing. Yeah. 100%.
God, where is it? I just had it.
That was one of the last Japanese imports that I bought because they're so, like, right now, everything from Japan is so expensive to ship right now.
So if we're going to talk about Motorheart,
well, I'll tell you that if you buy something from CD Japan, it's not expensive.
It is for Canada.
Oh, not for the US though.
It is for Canada. I end up almost doubling my money when it comes to the exchange, the duty, and the shipping. I almost end up doubling my money. So I actually don't order from CD Japan.
So,
I used to order every couple of months.
From the
people like us, Grant,
suffer.
Canadians like us, suffering. we will lament the early 90s when our dollar actually had some buying power in the US when it was like 83, 84 cents on the dollar. But anyway, if we're going to talk about Motorheart, which
go ahead,
we are. One of my favorite songs is one of the bonus tracks, and there's something about the bonus track I want to run by you guys to see if you noticed it. The song, "You Don't Have to Be Crazy About Me, But It Helps." I hear someone on background vocals. I hear the father of their drummer.
You hear
Roger Taylor.
I hear Roger Taylor.
Interesting.
Really?
In the "You Don't Have to Be Crazy," because he's got that.
You can't very distinctful.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Roger sings on that. He's not credited, but I'm pretty sure. And they didn't want to make a big fuss about it, right? Because nepotism and all of that. But I'm pretty sure he's on there. One of my favorite
I'm cool with that.
songs on the main Motorheart album, though, is the last official song, "Speed of the Nighttime." To me, that's like total 80s retro new wavy meets the darkness. And I really like it. It's like a lost Billy Idol song.
You know what, Tim? Forgive me if I pester a medieval quester. Demons we must vanquish. Dust off the pair of anguish. Squeeze them till their heads squish. Merlin, grant me one wish.
Yeah.
That's the bonus track. It's so freaking funny.
I've never heard that.
It
is so funny, Grant.
It's this long stream of consciousness going through just about every fantasy creature and situation imaginable. And
dragons breathing fire. Goblins in the Shire, a windswept misty mire, preaching to the choir, a hovel eating mud, the chainmail stained with blood, the monks are chewing cud, and a mace falls with a thud. It's poetry.
Like, there's no break in it. There's no chorus. It's just continual verses.
Right.
I'd call that poetry.
I think it sounds like poetry.
Oh,
it's freaking hilarious, man.
I just want to ask Tim a question. Have you heard the Hot Leg CD though?
I've seen the video.
You may have it. I don't know.
I don't.
Oh my!
I'm really funny when it comes to side projects, and I call it a side project
but it's so good.
Because
There you go. Mike's all over.
Money.
I can't find my CD. You know it's here somewhere.
Guys, it's dollars and cents. I just can't get everything. So
I agree.
Well, you do like a pretty good job.
Yeah, but there's so much more. Like, if I got every side project from every band I follow and every solo project that came out, I'd be so broke.
Yeah, but maybe you don't need every Skid Row album on cassette.
Right.
Well, another thing is, like, we all have our thing, right?
Right, we do.
Here comes the justification.
No, Tim, you're 100% right. We all have our thing.
We all have our focus. I mean, you might say, well, Tim, you never play those 8-track. I like them.
No, that's the kind of thing your wife says. We would never give you shit for that.
She's pretty supportive about it, even if she doesn't understand it. But like when you talk about like concert tickets being so expensive, saying, oh, well, it costs X amount of money. I'm not talking about the $3,000 things, but to spend like $100, $150 on something, I'd be like, oh, that's ridiculous. Animalize on 8-track, like it's.
Well, everyone has their thing.
You talk about late tax, yeah. Late tax is real. Mike, ever since Mike brought that up, I'm like, yeah, I've paid late tax, or I've decided not to get something because of late tax. So
yeah. As far as I'm concerned, my motivation for buying things is I want to have a physical copy of every song. So I don't necessarily look for this format or that format. As long as I have a physical copy of every song, that's what I'm looking for. And that's my motivation. That's why I have so many Japanese imports, because a YouTube stream isn't enough for me.
That's what.
No.
Marco, that's what Eddie Trunk says. Always wait to the day before the show or the day of to get tickets, because they can't get rid of them. They knock the prices way down. That's what he always says.
Distress prices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he always says, well, you'll be able to get a ticket. You just have to wait. Be patient.
Some scalper outside of the Sky Dome in Toronto told us that if you wait until the opening act is off the stage, he'll sell you a ticket for half price. So, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's just what some scalper said after a Leafs game.
But a scalper told me.
That scalper told me. He was a nice scalper. I'll tell you that. He was the nicest scalper I've ever talked to.
Well, boys, we've won an hour.
I loved it.
And we've just shot the shit. This is the kind of show I like, where we talk about it. It's not regimented. We just kind of have a discussion. That's what my channel's all about. Just sit down and have a discussion.
Well, it's especially good.
We love the darkness.
Not everybody talks about this band, and I think a lot of people think, if they know them at all, they had that one song. Oh, they had 2 albums out in the mid-2000s. They're active today, and they keep putting out every 2-3 years. They keep putting out albums, and they're all pretty good.
They're all worth getting. There's not the Darkness has never put out a bad album. Never.
One thing we've only alluded to is the musicianship of this band. We talked about the guitar solos, how they brought guitar solos back. But Justin is a freaking great guitar player. He does a lot of the lead solo work, not all, but he does a lot of it, and a lot of the more technical solo work. I was listening to some of the solos today, and I'm just like, that's Justin, that's not Dan, and you can tell. You can tell. See,
I cannot pick them apart. I figure most of it's Justin.
Most of it's Justin.
Yeah.
It helps if you watch the music videos and you can see who's playing what. But if you watch the music video for Last of Our Kind, there's a lot of close-ups on Justin's hands, so you can kind of see him doing a lot of tapping and things like that. Yeah. So whenever I hear tapping, I assume it's Justin. But I had a great time tonight, Grant.
Yeah, it was fun. We need to do more stuff.
Thanks for letting me crash.
Tim, that's the way we go. I'm sorry, but I didn't know you were a Darkness guy, or would have had you on.
This guy declined being on my show next week when we're talking about Judas Priest. So
I'm a big fan. Listen, all the respect in the world, man.
I can't talk Judas Priest. I wouldn't even know where to start.
We are going to be dissecting the big 50 Metal Years of Music box set next week.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Well, you'll see next week.
Yeah, tune in.
Yep.
But yeah, I couldn't even talk about Judas Priest. I could not.
Well, see, here's the thing I like to be able to do. I can talk a lot of different bands, whether I happen to be into them or not, but it would be disingenuous for me to come on, because this should be a fan thing. So,
well, all three of us.
You're not a Judas Priest fan.
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't have any problem with them.
I don't have any problem with them either. I don't particularly get it. But I can listen to it, but I don't get what's so great about it.
I just,
See,
I don't get it. I don't understand.
Rubbing my beard in frustration here.
Really? Some people get it, and some people don't.
Guys, I try to be, especially with friends, I try to be so respectful. Say, look, you guys dig it. That's cool. That's cool.
Well, the funny thing is, my co-host Harrison, the Mad Metal Man, was not a Judas Priest fan 3 to 4 years ago. Was not a Judas Priest fan. last week, 2 weeks ago, he got the 50 Metal Years of Music box set, which is like a $600 box set.
Yeah,
so
that's hardcore.
He is a serious convert to Priest. So and we both have the box set. So I'm really looking forward to us both taking it apart and looking at it.
All right, Lana, love the discussion. Cool.
Thanks,
well,
Lana.
Please like, subscribe.
Yeah, give Grant a like and subscribe.
Give me some love, people. Come on.
Trying to build an empire. I don't know.
I'm trying to build an empire here.
Wait, did this turn into a Queensryche show?
I couldn't talk. I did see Queensryche on. They opened in 1986. They opened for Ozzy. I saw Queensryche in '86. They were really good. We were right in the front row.
I saw them in '95, and they played all the Promised Land album live, and I love that album.
The thing I remember from that Ozzy gig, in fact, I saw Ozzy twice on that tour, is that all the I don't know how to put this, but a lot of females would be up on men's shoulders showing their wares to Ozzy, and Ozzy'd be up on stage going, oh, Ozzy was totally, it was so funny because he would stop singing. He would totally stop right in the middle and go, oh.
I would too. Whoa.
But that was great because Ozzy was playing like the Newport, like we have like the Agora, like in Cleveland, which is not a very big venue. But in '86, he wasn't playing in very big places. Believe it or not.
You said you saw him twice on that tour.
Mm-hmm.
Who opened for them the other time? Was it Metallica?
Yeah, I saw Metallica open.
Metallica open in Canada.
And I thought, well, I don't want to say what I thought, but I didn't think Metallica was all that hot.
Wow.
I didn't think they sounded that great.
That's a discussion.
But Queensryche, those sounded excellent. And I saw Dokken around that same time. And no, I saw Sammy Hagar around in, it must have been '86, and Dokken opened for Sammy Hagar. And Dokken was excellent.
It must have been before '86, because by '86 he was in Van Halen.
Maybe it's '85.
Maybe it was '85. Maybe it was VOA tour. I don't want to be that guy, but it's like it can't be '86.
Did he tour for his self-titled solo album?
No.
Okay.
It had to be '85 then.
Yeah.
But Dokken was
into '85, and that makes sense because Dokken would have been on Tooth and Nail. Maybe.
Dokken was excellent.
But
when I saw Metallica, it was when Cliff was in the band.
Yeah.
It just sounded like a bunch of noise. I know that might piss off people, but it really wasn't very good.
It could have been the sound that night too. It could have been just the sound.
That was a different kind of rock for most people at that time.
Oh yeah, no one.
If you didn't know the songs, it might have just sounded like a wall of sound.
It sounded like a wall of sound.
The guy behind the mixing desk might have had no idea how to handle that kind of band too, and it sounded like crap for that reason. Any number of factors.
But when Ozzy came on, it sounded great.
Dark, right? This was his really polished period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
Ozzy was great. I have to give him that. And I saw him when Jakey Lee was playing guitar, and Jakey Lee was top notch. He was excellent.
Yeah.
It was back in the day.
Love that guy.
I don't know. It's when Ozzy could move.
Queensryche opening. Oh man, that would have been awesome. Operation Mindcrime on the. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. We were right up front. We were right in front of Jeff Tate. It was cool. It was
that's '86. That's Rage for Order. So he would have had like the Ulta mullet at that time.
He did.
That would have been like the Hearing Aid video. That would have been what he looked like.
Yeah,
I believe he called it the Bride of Frankenstein hair.
But man,
Waterfall.
They were so tight. I mean, they were like a machine.
I've never seen any incarnation of Queensryche. I'd love to. There's another band right now. I think they're better than ever, but that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I remember that tour.
Queensryche and Def Leppard is a good combination. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
But Queensryche was good. That was still when what's his name was still in the band, right?
DeGarmo.
Yeah,
oh yeah, that was still the classic lineup. He was up till '97.
But it wasn't a big venue. It was, I don't know. And I was just surprised.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I always get a kick. I'm always amazed by seeing old ticket stubs and how cheap tickets were for some of these great double bills I would have loved to have been at. But anyway,
that was the day. All right, kids.
Thanks a lot.
We've done it. Hey, check out The Darkness.
Go get some cassettes.
Go get the Darkness cassettes. And if you can find the 8 tracks, by all means, get those too.
Buy a cassette player, get it all tuned up and refreshed with new belts, and then buy it on cassette.
You know what?
I do have a quick story, though. When Todd Evans... Go ahead.
I was going to say that the Darkness would be the type of band to do what Cheap Trick did and put out an album on 8-track. I could see that.
Do you have that Cheap Trick 8-track?
I do. The latest, I do.
You do?
Of course.
You know how much that goes for?
Oh, I do.
I do have a... Go ahead.
I love the fact they put it out because they wanted to have the #1 selling something that week.
Did you ever play it? Does Ernesto have that too?
I don't have a player.
See, this is what's funny about Tim. God love you, Tim, but he collects all these 8-tracks, but he can't play them.
This is what baffled me when he put out his book. I was like, so Tim, tell me about what it's like to refurbish an 8-track player so you can play these things. And
yeah, how do these sound?
It's too expensive. I don't care about stuff like that.
Chris Preston asked me about that when you get those Kiss 8-tracks. I send it to the 8-track fixation Facebook page. I'm like, talk to the people on there. They're the guys you need to talk to about re-spooling and cleaning your cap stand and
he has an actual functional player. Like Chris Preston's serious. He's actually playing his 8-tracks. He's the only guy I know who's actually playing them.
I used to have a player. I ruined a couple of tapes, including my Queen 2, which was in immaculate shape. I said, you know what? I think I'm just gonna collect.
Marco's pretty sure you'll get a player. Ernesto, no, I don't, but I do play some.
Ernesto's got an impressive collection of 8-track tapes.
Well, I know. We did a show with Ernesto. We're supposed to do a follow-up episode, but we haven't got that on the books. But when I went down to visit Todd Evans in Atlanta, we went to Athens, Georgia. We went to Danny Beard's store, who was the guy who put out the original. He was the man from behind DB Rex. He put out the first B-52s record, blah, blah, blah. But we were talking to Danny. We're supposed to get him on the show for an interview. But anyway, that's another. But he had all these cassettes, and he said, you know what? I've got some stuff you might be interested in. He went up into the top of the record store. I mean, this is like a record store from like 1977. He brought Todd and I down all these cassettes that were on DB Rex because he used to put it, well, he's the man behind DB Rex. I must have got 8 cassette tapes. I haven't played them yet. All sealed, all different DB Rex artists.
I've never heard of the label.
Neither have I, but I'm
that's
impressed
what
already.
Guadalcanal Diary came out on DB Rex originally. I mean, there were a lot of different bands. Swimming Pool Cues. It's too bad Todd's not on here because he could rap this stuff. But it was great because he gave us all these free cassettes.
I've heard of Guadalcanal Diary. I've never heard of Swimming Pool Cues.
Yeah, they were just another Georgia band that was pretty big. But, I mean, this guy is like a legend as far as... I mean, he put out Rock Lobster originally on a single.
I knew that came out independently before they signed with.
That's where it came from.
Wow.
Yeah, God knows who all else, but
I
plenty
thought
others.
for sure you were going to say he brought down armloads of 8-tracks. And you're like,
No, but the other thing, he had original pressings of Guadalcanal Diary, the Walking in the Shadow of the Big Man on DB Rex, and there was one in the bin, and Todd bought it. He said, look, Grant, I just got this. And I went, it's sealed, and it's on DB Rex before it was out on Elektra. And, you know, Danny Beard said, well, one second. Like you want one too?
Like really cool.
Yeah, he said, do you want one of those too? And I said, well, sure. He went up and got another one, another sealed one.
Wow.
God knows what he's got up in this record store.
See, that would be like we were talking about Queensryche. That would be like getting their first EP on 206 Records, not the EMI version.
Right.
Yeah.
Same deal. It's just crazy. And I had no idea, but we were sitting there. We were in that store talking to Danny for like an hour and a half. He was amazing. So hopefully I'm going to get we're supposed to do an interview with him, but I don't know when that's going to happen. But the fact that, you know, you would think this guy was so monumental in the Athens and Atlanta music scene, you know, launched the B-52s for God's sakes. You know, Pylon, all those bands that you would think that people would be standing around just wanting to talk to this guy because Todd and I were just sitting there with our mouth open because we were in it, and Todd goes, I think that's Danny Beard. And I go, is it? He said, yeah. So it's just one of those geeky things. Todd and I are very geeky when we were down there.
No, that's awesome. Look, you should have seen me when I went to Toronto to see Rush. I had to get my picture taken in front of the legislature building, and oh look, there's the corner of Danforth and Pate, and oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's pure geeky.
It's when you're in your. It's every time I'm in a thrift store at 3100 Religious and Country 8-tracks. Exactly, Marco. Which is why people say, "Hey Tim, they got a bunch of 8-tracks there." I'm like, they don't have anything I want.
Every time I go to a thrift store or like Goodwill, I never come out with anything. I come out with like audio gear before. I must have picked up like 4 CD players. I just put them in the basement whenever I need them. And I picked up a Sansui, mid-70s Sansui receiver that was like mint. I got it for like $5.
Although I do have to give Marco.
I'm good with stereo equipment.
Marco did find me an 8-track. He sent me Bad Company Straight Shooter. He found that. So that was awesome.
The only 8-track that I have is Chic Risque that I found. That's a record club, and I bought it.
That would be a Columbia House. Yeah, I can tell.
Columbia House.
Yeah.
The only one I have is Kiss Alive, but I've misplaced it.
Well, I can see the book
right
though.
there.
I can see the book.
Yes, you can see the book.
Marcus says the coolest thing I found was a mint television. Oh my God, $20.
See, boys, we gotta do a vintage video games episode. I can tell.
I'm actually doing a video games episode with Marco and Rob Daniels on my channel.
I'll start.
There it is.
The Journey one.
Yeah.
Oh, that 8-track, Tim, was $3. It was like 50% off.
But I never find anything in thrift stores. It's so funny. There's a chain of stores here in Eastern Canada called Value Village.
Yeah.
And there's a guy, Rob Hawley. I follow him. It follows me. I follow him. He's in Halifax, I think, a much bigger center. He's always finding good cassettes and good CDs and stuff like that. The closest one I have is in Fredericton, about an hour away. There's never anything good there. The only thing I ever found there decent, the only 8-track I ever found there is I found for 50 cents, I got High Infidelity.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Cool. But most of the time, it's not rock at all. Or if it is, it's, it's ones you see a lot. It's just the same ones you see all the time. You never see really rare ones. So.
But I've told you guys this before. I didn't tell Mike this, but I did find Cat Stevens' T for Tillerman on quadraphonic 8-track. For $1.
Yeah.
I turned around and sold it on Discogs for $75.
You know, one thing that I would like to see come down in price, just so I could have at least one, is a reel-to-reel.
Yeah,
those are $200 anyway. Because I've seen Aerosmith and Kiss ones, and like that, you can find them, but they're expensive.
I've got the
Birds.
Like,
I don't ever remember seeing those.
I've got the Birds Notorious Bird Brothers I bought for like a couple of bucks and half-price books.
On a reel?
On a reel. And I looked it up, and it's like pretty rare. Because that came out in 68.
And I don't ever remember seeing, I remember reel-to-reel players, but I never I just thought they were used for recording.
Right? I thought they were just used in TV shows when you had to have like a lab in the background. It looked like there were people doing very important studies.
You know something? Working in radio, they used to have these, and now it's all digital. They used to have loggers in case someone complained. Right. If somebody swore on the air or something like that. So you'd have these huge reels, and they would just, about twice a year you'd have to change them. But yeah, reel-to-reel tapes, they come in a little box, a little bit bigger than a CD. Mm-hmm. They got the artwork on. Like, I'd love to find one, but the trouble is, if I found one, I'd want more. So
see, that would cause, and there's a lot. I don't find so many reel-to-reels in the wild. I find a lot more 8-tracks in the wild than ever reel-to-reels.
You know, the only reel-to-reels I've ever seen are like 50s ones, like musicals and jazz ones and stuff like that. Nothing I'm looking for, but they do exist. 70s and even into the mid 80s, you can find them. Columbia House.
Mark, I have a collection of antique cameras. I have a 16 millimeter camera from 1936. It has undeveloped film in it.
Jeez.
What's it? Probably black and white, I would imagine.
What if that's something historic on there, like a Queen's Visit or something, or the King's Visit or something like that? That could be crazy.
Yeah,
it could be. I don't know.
You could solve a mystery.
If it's black and white, you might be able to get it developed still. Because if it was color, it wouldn't be any good. But man, that'd be awfully early for color.
Yeah. I love these stories of people finding old stuff and having to get it converted. I'm just enchanted by things like this. No.
I love stuff like there's a video on YouTube that somebody was obviously filming in a movie theater back in 1980, and it's the audience reaction when Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father." You just hear the audience go, and then you go, "No way!"
Harrison has a typewriter somewhere in his house. Well, that's what I used to type all my.
I used to have an electric typewriter.
When I was in college, I had a manual typewriter that I did all my papers on.
Yeah, I actually learned to type pretty good. Actually, that's one thing I learned at school that I can see some actual results from.
I type with about 3 to 4 fingers at various times. And that's it. I suck.
Boys,
listen, guys, I've got to bail.
I think we've done it. I want to thank Mike and Tim for coming on tonight. And there you go, kids. The Darkness. Pick it up. Band. Look for some great band, great material.
Check them out.
Check them out. You can't go wrong with anything. Just pick it up and check it out.
Except for Easter's canceled.
Yeah, but I like that one. All right, boys. Good night, and thanks for coming on.
Take care.
I have a feeling there'll be an Aldo Nova show coming up. So
contact John T. Snow.
John T. Snow. All right. Yep. Night, boys. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.